And what's next?
Yes, next we'll be introducing a cutting-edge material born in Japan, and it's a metal that people with a certain problem can also use.
What kind of metal is it?
Well, some people are allergic to certain metals and can't put on, say, necklaces or earrings, and this new metal solves that problem.
That sounds like good news. But what causes metal allergies in the first place?
It's said that nickel is the culprit, and so a professor at Tohoku University succeeded in developing a metal that doesn't contain any nickel.
Well, I imagine it can be used for products other than accessories.
Yes, you're right, because in fact it's attracting attention around the world, especially in the medical field, and developing that metal came with numerous struggles, so take a look.
This is Ginza, Tokyo. I'm here to see some accessories made with a certain material.
Our newscaster heads to a jewelry shop operated by major electronics maker Kyocera.
This must be it.
Yes.
What exactly is it?
The name of the metal is cobarium.
Cobarium is a material for which only Japan has the technology to make. It looks like platinum, but is an alloy containing cobalt and chromium, metals rarely heard of in this part of town. Compared to platinum, it's priced 30 to 70% lower, and they say sales are brisk. There's another reason why it's gaining fans.
People who are allergic to nickel will find that some jewelry gives them an itch. We've heard there's absolutely no reaction like that with this.
Typically, nickel is added to make it easier to process metal. This, cobarium, contains almost no nickel, which is the primary cause of most metal allergies. As a result, it's favored by people who worry about the possibility of allergic reactions. We visited the inventor of cobarium.
Here it is. This is it, Professor Chiba's room. Hello.
He's the developer, Professor Akihiko Chiba. He shows us a photograph.
The reaction appears over the entire body like that.
This is a picture of a patient who had an allergic reaction to nickel.
The entire body of the patient, who had a reaction to the nickel in an artificial hip joint, shows severe allergy symptoms. Many artificial hip joints are made with imported cobalt alloys that contain nickel. That's what the professor questioned.
When you first thought of developing this material, was it to make a people-friendly material?
Yes. I took pride in Japan's strong capabilities to make materials. So why, then, wasn't an alloy extremely important to people being made anywhere in Japan? For one, I was surprised, as well as a bit disappointed.
2001. Professor Chiba started his research, but found that without nickel, metals were difficult to process, and he struggled. Then, a student of his said, "The crystal structure of metals with nickel is stable, making processing easy. But when nickel is removed, it becomes unstable and breakable. By adding nitrogen, it regains stability and metals are easier to process."
It felt like the fog in my head had cleared. Until then, I didn't know why, but the data wasn't right. It didn't line up. I wondered why, but with nitrogen, that all became clear.
During that time, he received a helping hand from a certain company in Kamaishi, Iwate Prefecture. Despite the difficulty in forecasting whether it would be financially feasible, in 2007, they agreed to undertake the manufacturing of the metal at the risk of losing money. That company was Eiwa, a metal producer. Managing Director Takehiro Sasaki says what drove him to take on the project was the passion of Professor Chiba.
I felt reassured because there was somebody like Professor Chiba who is devoted to this.
This is the only place that Kibarian can be manufactured. First, materials such as cobalt and chromium are put in a furnace, melted. Added to that is a nitrogen compound. He says they have their own know-how in determining the best ratio of nitrogen. The alloy that's made is put into another high-heat furnace. The heated metal is pounded with a hammer, compacting the structure and making it easier to process. Made in this way is the new alloy, Kibarian. 9 years after starting production, commercialization of products other than artificial hip joints has been moving ahead, and they expect to become profitable by next fiscal year.
Even now, we're working with Professor Chiba to develop all kinds of alloys. With Kibarian alone, we have a lineup of about 10 different types, and we want to increase that number.
A new material born in Japan, Kibarian, is attracting wide interest. Iwate Medical University Hospital. Dr. Ken Yamazaki is one person who believes in the possibilities of Kibarian. He's an expert on scoliosis. Scoliosis is a disorder that causes the spine to curve. In most cases, the cause is not known. He's thinking of using Kibarian as a material for metal rods used in spine correction surgery.
It's embedded in the body, so the main premise is that the material causes minimal side effects and complications and is also strong. And I think this metal is perfect.
This Kibarian-made product is expected to be used in the medical field within this year, once it receives government approval. Professor Chiba of Tohoku University has felt firsthand the possibilities of a material he himself developed.
The importance of being nickel-free and the problem of nickel allergies are becoming widely known. So I feel that the direction I pursued was the correct one.